Everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're visually unpacking a seriously fascinating edition of the Sunny Side Up News Brief, specifically Week 20, which is a fantastic initiative by Willem Scheepers. If you've been sitting there wondering how artificial intelligence is shifting from just, a futuristic buzzword into something that's literally reorganizing our economy and our daily lives right now, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break down Scheepers' deep dive into this massive transformation, so let's jump right in.
There's this amazing Japanese proverb: those who learn to ride the waves of change shape the future. Willem Scheepers brings up a really brilliant metaphor here, actually inspired by the TV shows So You Think You Can Dance. He argues that adapting to AI isn't just about reading some boring software manual, right? It's a choreography. It's an essential dance you've got to learn if you want to survive organizationally and grow personally. The floor beneath us is shifting fast, and to stay upright, we just have to learn to move with this totally new rhythm.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the silent AI revolution.
The phrase "be AI prepared" means something completely different now than it did even a few months ago. We're way past just using AI as a cute digital assistant. Now it's about understanding how entire knowledge workflows are being completely re-engineered from the ground up. The scope is just exploding. Drawing from a recent piece in the Volkskrant, we can see AI has moved leagues beyond simple text generation. We're talking about the discovery of brand new medicines and materials. We've got autonomous AI agents running experiments in labs, tools like Prism completely transforming deep research, and Codex literally rewriting how software development happens. AI is actually driving the core processes in these super advanced fields now.
Moving right along to Section 2, from gimmick to reality.
So, how does all this high-level abstract tech actually hit our daily lives? Because lab agents are cool and all, but the real proof is in how it changes everyday consumer behavior. Let's look at this super relatable micro-example Scheepers shares about just trying to buy some sunblinds. Instead of spending hours clicking around comparing websites, he just unleashed an AI agent. And in seconds, literally seconds, the AI handed him full price comparisons, detailed product specs, quality differences, mounting options, user reviews, the whole shebang. It just advised and filtered everything instantly. Now, armed with this curated, expert-level data, Scheepers reached out to a few regional businesses. And wow, does this perfectly illustrate the massive disconnect happening right now. The businesses replied with standard, dusty old lines like, "Oh, just come to the showroom," or "We have a nice promotion going on." They had absolutely no clue what was happening. They were communicating from an entirely different era, completely blind to the fact that they were dealing with a hyper-efficient, AI-empowered consumer. And guys, this disconnect isn't just local shops. Get this, there's a Chinese robot actively selling cars right now in a Dutch showroom. At first, you might just roll your eyes and think it's a fun little gimmick. But look a little closer, because it proves a huge point. Heavy physical industries are fundamentally transforming. The auto industry, it isn't just making products anymore. It's rapidly turning into an AI industry that just happens to have wheels. This tech is becoming our literal core infrastructure.
Which brings us to Section 3, the economic tectonic plates. So if the very basics of buying and selling are changing this fast, what's going on with the broader economy? We really need to view these shifts as massive tectonic plates moving deep under the surface. The Dutch central bank, the DNB, actually put out a strategic warning about a fundamental vulnerability in the current business model. It's not that people aren't entrepreneurial, but rather that too much labor and capital are just stuck in small-scale, low-productivity setups right now. The DNB says the normal process of creative destruction just isn't cutting it. So the big question isn't, how do we adopt AI? It's more like, is our economy actually dynamic enough to handle the massive reshuffling of work, capital, and productivity that's already underway?
And you can feel the tension building. The CBS recently reported a massive drop in entrepreneur confidence, the biggest drop since early 2022. But here's the crazy part. The CBS report didn't even mention artificial intelligence. As Scheepers points out, that's literally like registering a massive earthquake but completely forgetting to mention the tectonic plates. Entrepreneurs are being squeezed hard by three invisible forces right now: economic uncertainty, severe labor shortages, and this intense AI-driven pressure to ramp up productivity.
Okay, let's move to Section 4, the battle for security.
When productivity pressures spike like this, the societal impacts follow right behind. Labor unions absolutely see this coming. They've been bracing for really intense AI negotiations ever since that huge leap in language models back in November 2022. And their urgency is totally justified. Look at the recent mass layoffs at major banks and other huge organizations. AI is officially out of the sandbox.
What used to just be pitched as efficiency projects are now permanently changing team structures and headcounts. While politicians are busy debating traditional safety nets, there is a silent revolution happening on the work floor. It really forces us to ask, how do you keep a society stable when the very concept of work becomes this unstable?
We also have to be really honest about who feels this instability first. The very structure of work is shifting. We're seeing this massive trend where routine knowledge work, think administration, support, coordination, is under incredibly rapid automation pressure. And historically, a really high percentage of these specific roles happen to be held by women. It's so important to understand that this isn't AI actively discriminating. Rather, it's just the relentless automation of routine tasks that structurally impacts these demographics first.
So how on earth do we survive this shift? Well, we have a clear roadmap. To make it through the next few years, we have to transition from just pure execution to orchestration. We have to elevate from basic administration into active direction. And maybe most crucially, we've got to step away from routine tasks and lean super heavily into true human value. Think of this as your survival guide for the modern workforce.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, the human paradox.
We've spent a lot of time talking about what machines can do, right? But the ultimate solution for navigating this crazy new economy actually lies in what machines cannot do. To tackle this strategically, you need a blueprint, and Willem Scheepers actually hit a really cool milestone recently by publishing his Human Capital Allocation Framework on SSRN. This framework is pretty much an essential guide for companies trying to figure out how to reorganize and optimize their talent in an AI-driven world. It's all about putting the right human capabilities in the right places while the AI handles the heavy lifting.
So, what exactly are those right human capabilities? Catherine Isaacs offers some really vital insight here. Yes, absolutely, AI is mind-blowing at analyzing, predicting, optimizing, and producing stuff at a scale we've never seen. But here's the reality check. Organizations don't run on pure logic. The actual foundation of any successful business runs on trust, social safety, courage, empathy, meaning-making, and moral judgment. Those are things that strictly happen between people.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It highlights the core paradox of our time. The better the technology becomes, the more valuable human traits become that are difficult to scale. As AI turns logic and routine into cheap commodities, our absolute most premium assets are going to be the exact things a machine can never, ever replicate.
So as we wrap things up today, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought to chew on. When AI can flawlessly execute all the routine stuff, what is going to be your unique human contribution? Keep that in mind as you figure out your own dance with this technology. Thank you so much for hanging out with me to unpack this explainer brought to you by Dodme's Future Intelligence. See you next time.